And that's why Star Wars fans are the worst. What's going on, everybody? This is the Cover Band Confidential Podcast. The podcast are cover band musicians and band leaders to learn how to rock more and suck less in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Adam Johnson.
Vouching that we are the worst in Greensboro, North Carolina, Dan Ray.
So what I was saying initially before this kicked on was the videos that I put out last week about the Head Rush update and the AM4 release have been doing pretty well. And most people are being, pretty supportive, not like that Dark Glass video that we made. And then I said something about like Dark Glass fans or like the Star Wars fans of bass guitar effects. People did not like that video.
No. Well, I mean, we were a little out of our depth on it, to be fair, but were we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people like, that's not true. You guys are just talking out of your ass. Like, yeah, have you heard of the podcast format?
That's our brand. Come on.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. And it's also true that, and I can say this as a Star Wars, deep Star Wars fan, there's nothing worse than Star Wars fans. Some Star Wars thing comes out and it's hated mostly by Star Wars fans. So, ugh.
Yeah, nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars.
100% true.
You were saying that there's been a big personal development this week concerning your
my personal life. Yeah. So I shared last week that my hot water heater has died. I successfully today took a shower, and it was amazing. It was our friend Mimi, who's like dear family friend, lives half a mile away, and she's the kind of friend who's like, when we call to say, hey, could we come over and use your shower? She's like mad that we asked permission instead of just showing up. That's kind of how, I mean, when she got divorced, she lived with us for about 6 months. We're like that. So
yeah,
she's like, she said to me, don't go a week again, come over and wash your damn self. And and I've been using the bucket shower. I think I talked about that last week.
Yes.
And it's been fine. But to be in a shower that's hot under its own power and doesn't have a burning wick going as you operate it, was nice. I did not want to get out of that shower. But I had family members queued up behind me and I was first in line. So I kind of had to respect that. So yes, I'm clean and it's amazing.
Yeah. He knew, I mean, this was an on-camera day, so he knew he had to
I didn't fix my hair, but well, it's all right.
But yeah, the call started is like, I took a shower today for the first time in a week. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then he was like, call back from us. I was like, oh, yeah. I was just like, that weird flex, but okay.
Weird flex, but okay. Yeah. It's interesting. Last week, the chimney guy, I shared the whole critical path here. The chimney guy said it was going to be a week or two for materials to come in. I touched base with him yesterday. He said, oh, yeah, it's usually 2 to 3 weeks for materials to come in. I was like, this is a timeline slip that's just happened. I don't love it. But as long as we got Mimi, we're good to go. We're fine.
There you go.
It's all good.
I mean, I feel like I was talking with Amber about this, is that like senioritis has kind of kicked in as far as like the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
We're like T-minus 3 weeks out from like, most things kind of shutting down business-wise. And so we're all kind of looking at our jobs going, I don't know.
I don't feel like.
The only thing that I've got to worry about is that I at the end of December, I'm taking a 5-week hiatus from work.
Whew.
That is a perk at my company when you hit 7 years. So on top of that, we've got a new guy coming in that's going to kind of be working alongside me in like a 60-40 split. He's working with 2 different departments, and I get him for 40%.
Cool.
Helping with editing and stuff. So what I'm trying to figure out is the best way to set him up to put those projects together while I'm gone. So there's no shooting necessary, but just like the editing and that kind of thing.
That's good.
And also, I didn't tell you this on the pre-show, but my first round of like 15 videos officially were released and announced on Friday. As we were heading to load-in, I got an alert that was like, hey, we're making all these live. So it's been, 5 months of my life that, are finally showing.
Went live. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And now we're not holding anything back, so I can just like release stuff as it's done, which will, give us a much more regular cadence to releases and stuff. So
that's good.
Being good about that.
Speaking of things going live, I think I shared that my child was doing a musical theater event.
Yeah, was this Lion King?
Lion King.
Or is this a new show?
Lion King.
Okay.
It went up this last weekend. It's Sunday as we record this, so the show opened Friday night, and then it was a two doche on Saturday.
That's a 2-show day for those who are not in
non-musical theater people. Yes. Sorry about that. And I saw opening on Friday, and I saw the last show on Saturday, and it was I know we try to check the family-friendly, we don't swear box, but I gotta say, it was goddamn spectacular. It was
sweet,
really, really good. And my child, Scar, has the most stage time of anybody in that show. The main characters, Simba and Nala, are double cast because there's kid them and adult them. And Act 1 is all kid them, and Act 2 is all adult them. And Scar is the one through line. Mufasa's gone by the middle of Act 1. Has a little bit of a recurrence in Act 2, but as we're looking in the water and doing this amazing song, He Lives in You. God, I just died. And here's what I was. She'll never hear this, so I can get away with saying it. At curtain call, when they were bowing, I knew she was having some big feelings.
Yeah,
And then what happens is the director of the whole thing comes up and says, "Oh my God, what a great show! Kids worked so hard. Thank you so much for everything." Come up and meet your fans. And there's everybody pours onto the stage, and we all hug the children and tell everyone how great they did. And by the time I got to my kid, she was actively sobbing. Mm-hmm. And I've been there. I've been in shows where after it closes, you put so much into it. And you put, your heart into it, and you, in her case, this was her first real standout role. She's clear she grew massively in the production process of it, and 3 gigs and it's done, right? And she hugged people and saw the people through tears, fought her way through the emotions she was having to hug the whole cast, and then scampered off to the green room, and I know melted down totally back there. Because her Scar makeup was completely run down her face by the time she came back out. And it was so sweet and good. And she sat in the back seat of my car and cried the whole way home. And I just felt the whole thing. It's like I said, God, I've done it. It's so hard to close a show that you love that much. And she was like, yes. And so it brought me back to some real great musical theater memories, and she spent the whole day today in her room just recovering. It was 3 shows in 2 days is a ton, especially something that physical. They were doing lion pose, sort of half squat for the whole show, and so it was physically hard. She was saying "ow" on every step up and down the stairs. But I'm super proud, super proud of my little Scar. She was amazing, and just really came into her own as somebody who can hold a stage. Led her own whole song. The song "Be Prepared." Yep, she freaking nailed, and it was awesome, super awesome.
So this is a story that nobody asked for, but you were just talking about having flashbacks of performing stuff. Amber and I on our anniversary trip, we went down to Savannah, and I found that there was a burlesque show that they do in this speakeasy, whatever.
It's a very Savannah concept right there. Burlesque show in a speakeasy.
Yeah, and so I bought tickets for it, and we go and we start doing the thing, and my 2 takeaways from this were the MVP of that production was the lighting director, because this was all done with DMX cues, and everything was automated. Most of the time, the lights would go fully black, and they would move to different tableaus and stuff, and very creative stagecraft, and somebody who knew what they were doing did the lights, and that was the main thing. But the second thing is you'll do a big ensemble group, and then they kind of do individual numbers or whatever. And one of them was Runaround Sue by Dion, and we've had multiple conversations about that song specifically.
Did she in fact go out with other guys?
Yeah. So the thing though is that it was 2 people. It was the one male performer that was kind of the ringleader, and then what I very quickly kind of surmised is these are the dance captains. Ah. And anybody who's been in show choir knows what that is, where it's the best male dancer and the best, female dancer, they immediately recognize one another, and they immediately form that alliance, because, once they do, then they get to control all of the choreography for the rest of the production.
Exactly.
And Amber and I, literally 2 bars into this we both kind of look at each other, and it was just an immediate understanding. It's like, oh, this is just show choir.
Yeah.
This is just adults doing show choir. A
little more naked, but
yeah, super funny. I walked out of that kind of energized in a way that was like wistful, though I have never performed in a burlesque anything for aesthetic reasons, really.
Well,
nobody wants to see that. It's just not.
It'd be a hard ticket. Yeah, I feel the same way.
Sure.
I feel the same way.
None of this has anything to do with the show or what we were planning on talking about. You know, I actually just got finished doing 2 gigs in a row. We wrapped up
what we want to talk about.
Yeah, we wrapped up our event season, basically. The band did 2 live band karaoke holiday parties, one on Friday, one on Saturday. I've got one more solo date, not this coming week, but the week after, and then, done for the year. And this was a couple of things that we were kind of trying out or revisiting, stuff we hadn't done before. I really want to get into the nuts and bolts about this, and I should have reached out to one of our patrons regarding this because I don't know how he wants to proceed. So there might be a follow-up on next week's episode regarding one of the things that I'm about to talk about. So the 2 things that we've switched over to is a new sign-up system, which I had mentioned previously, the Bandleader app, which was developed by one of our Patreon members, Ando.
Yes.
And the other thing was automated lyrics using Ableton Live, but through AbleSet. So basically having a computer monitor that just scrolls lyrics in a web browser because that's what AbleSet does. And both of those systems were astonishingly effective.
Right.
We have done the live band karaoke thing a lot this year and have used a couple of systems for the sign up. And I was paying very significant money for this one particular service, and it just wasn't built for what we were trying to do. It's of no fault of the developers. They built a product that I was trying to shoehorn into a particular use case. Yes. Yeah. But it wasn't suited for live band karaoke.
Yeah.
And that's not their fault, that's my fault. And we made some, they were willing to hear me out, but at some point they have to keep the product that they intended on making done. So when that kind of became apparent, I started looking for other options, and Bandleader was, and it was nice enough to send me a login and set up everything. And I said that last week, I canceled that membership, and that was that. And so put it through its paces on Friday night was the first time. And when I say it went off without a hitch, it was a flawless experience. The biggest stressor on these gigs is trying to make all the systems work together. And unfortunately, that falls on whoever's hosting primarily, or you have to hire additional personnel to kind of fill the gap. So, typically Amber's filling that role, and that's a stressful night for her because she's bringing people on stage, taking people off stage, managing the queue, and running lyrics for the most part. And she wanted to make sure that I told Ando directly she had the best night.
Awesome.
Because this system just works.
So good.
So, from her, the person who literally runs the operation, you can't get a more glowing recommendation. So I don't want to put the cart before the horse because I don't know what Ando plans on doing with this service. I think there's there, and I would 100% pay for the thing that I'm currently not paying anything for. And I don't know if he's had that conversation yet or thought about it or whatever, but I don't have any further information as far as making it available to you guys. But that conversation will be happening this week, and hopefully we'll have some clarity on that in next week's episode.
That's good.
So the other thing was AbleSet. Now, the trick about that is transferring everything over from one system to the other. So, our current song list is not huge, but it's over 150 songs. And getting those the way that AbleSet works is that you have your Ableton Live session, you put markers for certain things, the starting point of every song, and there's kind of a shorthand for different icons mean different things to that system and how it translates things. And there's also these things called LRC files that you can then import into Ableton that basically it's text in a MIDI channel that then is read on the scrolling lyric readout deal.
Cool.
But there's an automated part of it that works pretty well, but a lot of times you have to manually move stuff in order for it to scroll the line when you want it to scroll. So there's a fair amount of detail work involved, and Joey, our guitar player, was head of that project. The week of last week, I was helping out, but not at a clip that moved the needle terribly. So by Friday, I think we were at about 110 in the new system. And so that's a little nerve-wracking because you're using Ableton Live and you've got a Ableton Live session with 110 songs in it, which is just very large.
Yeah.
And, you got to make sure that the routing's working and the count-ins are there and the cues and all of that stuff.
All the triggers at the right point in the timeline. Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't perfect. We definitely had a couple of hiccups, but stuff that was pretty easy to remedy. And of course, because we were doing something the next day, it was, fresh, and easy to address. Yeah. It's not like thing. It's like, wait, what was that thing that I was supposed to fix? And you can't remember. Right. So, we were pretty good about keeping the lines of communication open. Like there was a punch list of things that needed to be fixed at the end of night one. But the thing that cracked me up though was that last week I was talking about this and I was saying, I'm thinking we probably need to look at like a hardwired solution for the lyrics. And your exact words were like, Wi-Fi is pretty solid. Like, I don't think you would need to worry about the signal cutting out. Well, let me tell you, it was a problem on night one. We had a couple of times where, it was just momentary. What would happen is that you would look at the monitor and the lyrics would stop scrolling. And then the browser window goes blank for a second, but 2 seconds in a song.
It's bad.
Is practically like that's a part of a verse. So and then it would reconnect. So that was one thing. I was like, okay, we're not going to risk that.
No.
So I found an obnoxiously long Cat 6 cable at the house and hardwired night 2 fixed that problem. Not a problem at all.
Good.
And we had a good system set up where songs that weren't in one set could be used using Pro Presenter. So all you had to do was like push a button and the output switched. And that's probably going to be the way that we move forward. Ideally, we'll get all of the songs into Ableton. But the thing about live band karaoke is that you're always going to get curveballs. You're always going to have audibles thrown your way. Yep. You can't avoid it. Night one, that first audible was Family Tradition by Hank Williams Jr.
Huh.
And I knew that song.
I wouldn't have had it.
And it went over like gangbusters. So we ended up.
So I should have it, but I wouldn't have.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the market, but country music is just going to be something that we can't avoid. And we had specific requests from the second night for a couple of tunes. Redneck Woman, Gretchen Wilson. Okay. Which again, it's 1, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy. Yeah. They also requested Strawberry Wine by Dina Carter. I don't know if you remember that song. That's a throwback. It's about like 98, 99.
It's itching my brain. I think I might. I bet if I heard it, I'd know it.
Oh, you would. It was a couple of those. And Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Of course. Sure. Fine.
So it was actually kind of strange. We had never added it. But now it's in there.
Yeah.
So a guy came up and it was like, hey, can you do Family Tradition? And I was like, yes, we can do this. So went into Pro Presenter, found the lyrics. It literally has an option to import from clipboard. So it's really easy to just grab a whole song.
That's good.
And then there's a reflow option where you can literally just like break all the sides up real quick if they're not, perfectly lined up. And so we were able to pull that off, and it got picked the second night too. So I guess we were onto something. So the idea of AbleSet is what I want. I want the ability to be fully automated, so Amber's not stressed out about moving the lyrics, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that if you're doing live band karaoke, there's going to be curveballs and audibles every single night, and so you have to be able, if you have any sort of possibility of like pulling a song off, to have the lyrics ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, it's being able to say, gosh, if it's not on the list, we're not prepared. Sorry.
Right.
That's an option, but it's not a great option.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, there's just going to be stuff that you're just not going to be able to do.
For my live acoustic karaoke, like literally every song that I feel confident I can play publicly is on the list. It's almost 400 songs. So if you have something that's not on that list, like I really don't know it legitimately. And I'm not going to be able to fake it.
Well, and there's also just certain caliber of song that can be approximated and can't be,
Right.
So for example, somebody else hit us up that night and asked for PYT.
Oh.
And Amber was like, we've played that before. I was like, yes, you and I have played that before, but nobody in this lineup, save our drummer, knows that song. Yeah. And that is not a song that you can approximate.
Right.
It's very specific.
Yes.
It has to sound a certain way,
yes.
Versus family tradition, which is just, is literally cowboy chords. That's where the term comes from. If you know the changes, then you can do it. And it was interesting. So like our bass player hit me up because again, he's flying probably the most without a net because his gigging experience just isn't quite as extensive as, some of the other guys. And so he was like, man, I really need to work on my country chops. Like, what songs did you recommend? I was like, honestly, listen to Family Tradition, because all of those changes, that is just prototypical country bass playing. So like, the 1 and the 5, where you're kind of alternating, and the walk ups and the walk downs, like learn those changes and that's pretty much it, because you will use those changes in pretty much every other classic country song, So scrolling lyrics worked great. Pro Presenter in a pinch worked great. Sound was awesome. Maestro was dialed in. Night one was for like an HR software company. And it turns out a buddy of mine that used to work in radio works there. And so that was kind of a fun little coincidence. Cool. And we played at this place. It was called Glover Park Brewing, which is in Marietta. And the top floor is like the bar event space. And then in the basement, they had a Christmas Story themed pop-up.
Nice.
The other thing that was great about that gig is that the event planner was like, okay, and so you have the venue until 11? And she's like, no, the party ends at 9. I do not want to be here at 11.
Glory, hallelujah. I love that.
Yeah, so we actually had time after we finished and packed everything up to go downstairs and have a round and like hang out and enjoy ourselves for a bit, which was really nice.
Love that.
So night one was awesome. Probably the more nerve-wracking of the two, just because lots of question marks, lots of new things, lots of things we had to, make sure that we could adapt to. Yeah. And, the things that we were stressed out about, nobody was any the wiser. So night one, done, good to go, prepped for night two. Same format, live band karaoke, corporate event, holiday party. Couple of challenges here. The first one being our drummer couldn't do it, so we brought in a new drummer. Is a guy I had never met before. Our guitar player, vouched for him. His name is Bryson. Just the nicest, like, just chill, great guy, great drummer.
Love a good hang.
I mean, that's 90% of the gig.
Yeah.
He had 3 weeks to basically, make this gig happen. Had never played on an Octopad E-Rig. Our main drummer loaned it to him, and he did great.
Cool.
Like there was so many opportunities for him to, have a rough night, and he just didn't.
Cool.
So, I mean, props to him.
Totally.
I don't know if he was just messing with me or if or Joey was just throwing the law in. He kept bringing the show up. He kept bringing the podcast up.
Oh.
Like, so I was like, oh God, like you listen? And he's like, yeah, I mean, like Joey, like force fed me like 3 episodes in the drive up or whatever. I think yeah. Anyway, it was just, he kept bringing it up. I was getting very self-conscious about,
Yeah.
So Bryson, sorry if Joey force feeds you, you're in the show this week.
Yeah.
And I actually did say that because, he was talking about, having the material and whatever. And I was like, listen, man, you don't want to make the show.
Right. Well, maybe you do. There's a way.
Well, yeah, in this case.
There's a world where you do.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hardwiring the lyrics worked perfectly.
Cool.
Sign-up system, again, was outstanding. The most interesting thing, and this is one of those things that has never happened before. I have never seen this before in my life. This is an absolute first. So this was a holiday party in Covington, Georgia, which is out east of where we are, about an hour kind of out in the sticks. Cool venue. It's called OHCO, OHCO. Old factory that they converted, but it was like top notch, high end, like beautiful spot. And this company brought in, I've never seen this before, a mechanical reindeer.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the pre-show. Unpack this for me.
Okay. Picture in your mind's eye a mechanical bull.
Yes.
All right. Now take the bull's head off.
Yes.
And put a reindeer's head on it.
That was what I was afraid it was going to be.
Yeah. But they went the extra mile, because not only was it, a bull with a reindeer on it, but they've got like the padding around there, because
better be.
The objective is they're going to knock you off, whatever.
Right.
This was like a full gingerbread winter wonderland bouncy house scenario. Like this was that's a bespoke system designed for a mechanical bull, because ostensibly you've got this thing in the center of the blow up area with the mechanism and all of that stuff.
Yes.
So there's a company out there that sells mechanical bulls and also is like, we've got this other thing. And again, I don't know, I can't understand the economics around this, because there's no way that you use a mechanical reindeer that much.
Well, surely the mechanism is dressable.
Right. But the head isn't, and the bouncy house.
If I was going to design this thing, I would make it so that the expensive part, the mechanism, was bare metal, and then it could be dressed for seasons.
Right. But I that blowy uppy part could not have been cheap.
No, I'm sure.
It was huge. I mean, full, a gingerbread house. So it had like a facade, and of course it's got the kind of the border around it to keep you from rolling out.
Yeah.
But I mean, fully gingerbread house. I posted a video of it in the Patreon Slack. I might attach it in the video of this week's episode.
I don't know how I missed that, but I'm eager to see it.
Yeah, it was wild. The crowd at this one was interesting. I was thinking more country stuff was going to be, the norm, but we did Pink Pony Club and we did a lot of other stuff. Now, I mean, we did country, but the venue was very, very large and the attendance seemed a little light, but to be fair, the SEC championship was last night. And while the game was on in the venue, I have a sneaking suspicion a lot of people just didn't come because they were at home or somewhere else watching the game. Yeah. And then, of course, Georgia won, which meant that, that kind of amped up the energy a little bit, because people were feeling good around that. But, yeah, I mean, everything else was great, had fun. I wore a very obnoxious Christmas outfit at both shows, and, yeah.
Good.
Feeling pretty good about it.
Okay.
So, next actionable items are, of course, wrapping up the lyrics and AbleSet so that we can have it fully in there. I was really nervous about just the volume of songs in a single session, but Ableton didn't crack a sweat.
Cool.
There were no hiccups. I was incredibly impressed.
Good.
And I know that they've got some cool stuff in the pipeline as far as AbleSet with some new features and stuff coming down the pike. So really interested to see how that shakes out as we kind of go forward in this process. But this whole thing opens up so many other possibilities. So more automation, better syncing of stuff, being able to introduce new production components and just all of these things on the back of having this system in place. So
driving MIDI changes in your guitar rigs, in your Maestro DMX, all of that for sure.
Adding video and stuff like the Pork Tornadoes do at some point.
Totally.
It's all the possibilities are there. Yes. So very excited about that. And, that's the thing that we'll be moving into 2026 with, and hopefully, able to, step our game up a little bit.
Cool.
So the only other thing is kind of like a little gear thing. This is, it's kind of twofold. So I had mentioned in previous episodes that my eldest son was kind of, he's in marching band, but is starting to kind of take interest in playing bass specifically. And this was the first year where he asked for musician-y things.
Like for Christmas.
For Christmas.
Yeah.
Now, I bought him his first bass. I think he was like 11 or 12. It was during the pandemic. Back when, you would just meet somebody in a parking lot, and it was the first time you saw a human being in, a month and a half. Right. But he's got a couple of, so he's doing the indoor drum line for the winter season.
Cool.
He got asked to do pit band again this year. He did Chicago last year. They're doing 9 to 5, the musical this year.
Ah, okay.
And he's entertaining the idea of joining jazz. And we told him that he needed to pump the brakes because like these things that he has auditioned for is like $2,000 in like discretionary spending on our end.
Right.
So we're having that conversation. But he asked for like bass stuff. And so it's like, well, I mean, me as the dad, like I got to do the thing. I got to make sure that he's got what he needs.
Completely.
So he asked for a couple. He asked for a board. He asked for like a dirt box, and he asked for a bass wah. And I wasn't. Yeah. I didn't have the heart to tell him that that's probably not something he'll ever use.
Right.
But
he'll use it in his room, and he'll think it's cool.
Right.
When he goes to gig, he's going to find it useless.
Yeah. There's just. Other than that one part of Higher Ground by Red Hot Chili Peppers, like you're just not going to hear bass wah in much. Right. Or, some early Metallica stuff. But anyway, so he wants a board and a couple of boxes to put on it. And so I was like, okay, well now I'm trying to like figure out the budget here. And as I was, contemplating this, I got an email from a company that was like, hey, we have this pedal board. Would you do a review of it? I was like, you know what? Come to think of it,
100% I will. Absolutely.
So here it comes. So this is the company's called Vangoa, Vangoa. Vangoa.
Okay.
Anyway, and this is one of their boards. They have it in different sizes. This is a small one.
He doesn't need much. Yeah.
And it's got a couple of cool things that like other boards I've seen in the marketplace don't have. So first of all, fully flat design. With these little pull-out feet.
Yep.
So,
pretty nice.
Takes up less space. The big thing, though, is that it's got the power. I don't know if I can see that.
Yes.
Built into the board itself.
This is a good innovation. I like that a lot.
So it's got, 8 9-volt isolated power supplies.
It's really good.
It also has the input and output on the board itself.
And that's audio? That's guitar in and out to the board?
Yes. Now I had posted a video in the Patreon group that this has this kind of this light beam that is sound reactive, which is a little gimmicky.
Yeah.
And in most cases, like in his case, if he's playing in the pit, like you don't need that.
No,
you don't want
turn
that.
Turn that off. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But it has two functions. It's got the like ambient mic function where it just picks up the noise in the room, and there's a little knob you can adjust the sensitivity or whatever.
That's good. I was going to ask about that because you were talking and it was maxing out.
Yeah.
And I was like, put that on stage. It's just going to be pegged the whole time.
Right. So yeah, there's a little knob here. You can turn it all the way down, all the way up, whatever. Yeah. But if you plug in through these two ports, it actually uses the signal of the instrument for those reactive lighting.
Look, that's not terrible. I might use that at a gig just to have a little bit of interest happening.
It's a little zazz, for like a solo thing. It's not. It's gimmicky.
See, it's gimmicky, but look, what's not? I mean, we're gimmicky. Yeah. That's our deal.
Well, and listen, this is for my 15-year-old. I don't know if it's cringe or unk or whatever they're saying things are now, but
6, 7 or something.
It might be one of those. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, 6, 7. Could be either one. But it's a great little platform to launch off of. So
I'll tell you that the power distribution that's built into the board, that's good. I think that's a good idea.
Well, and I think the retail on this is just under $80, and if you think about the cost of a board this size with a bag plus a power supply, you're way overshooting that for anything that's like halfway decent.
That makes me a little worried about its quality, but I trust you'll check that out as you do your
Well,
video.
yeah, I mean, my intent is to put it through its paces, and I will procure a couple of pedals for it. I'm leaning in the direction of doing the Bass Pod Express, because I think it's important for him to like have things to play with, to like experiment with, but having one thing that does a lot of things and does them well, which is something that Line 6 is very good at, I think is a good jumping off point. And then he can kind of figure his stuff out. I was debating on giving him the Nauticlon because I watched some review videos of bass players using it, and it sounds phenomenal on bass. So that might be another possibility. But I think right now the Pod Express for bass is like $129 at Sweetwater. So, I mean,
hard to beat.
If I got him a dirt box, and I think the wah would cost more of that. Just the wah if I got it.
Yep.
And I do have an expression pedal that I can plug into this thing that maybe it can, play with some of the synths or whatever. I did want to note that it came with a bag and, pretty solid construction, strap, whatever. It also has this little sleeve for it to go on on a soft case. For your guitars, like your gig bag.
Okay.
It's a Velcro. I wish my bag did that.
Yeah.
It's a nice little touch. So, over the next couple of, probably like a week or so, I'll start sourcing these things. I've got a couple of things that I can repurpose so that he's got a functional, giggable board. And hopefully it'll be in time for him to, start using it for the pit orchestra, for the show and that kind of thing. So it's kind of his first foray.
You need to find him
into this world.
Guitarist and a drummer and a singer and make a band out of him.
Well, I told him that anytime he was like ready to like get his 10,000 hours in, I was like, I can put you in a 90s band like next weekend.
For sure.
And he was game, because I think he knows that, like, well, if I play a gig with my dad, like those are paid gigs.
Right.
He'll actually get a decent payday. So
yeah,
I will more than likely start, putting him to work, or at least kind of getting him up to speed to see if it's something he actually wants to do.
Good.
Because he may not want to. Being in a band with your mom and your dad could be a bit of a ball ache. Let's be honest.
I got a reach out on Facebook from a local guy whose band is him and his wife and his 2 kids. And this was just a couple of weeks ago, and I replied, and we're chatting and gonna go get a beverage at some point. Yeah, that sounded like fun. And I got this kid who's suddenly a vocalist, and we've been talking about, look, I've had an acoustic duo for a while. If I replace Taylor, and I love Taylor, I'm not throwing Taylor to the curb, but if it was the 2 of us instead, what kind of things would we do? And we've been talking about that. So who knows? Yeah,
this was something like I have. I feel like this as a parent, like these are thought experiments you intentionally don't engage in.
For sure.
Because it could just, you don't want to put pressure on.
No, the kid's got to drive it. That's crucial.
Yes.
It's crucial. Yeah.
So he's got some ambitions, and I want to help him and push him in the right direction without like taking over.
Right.
And that's the thing that I struggle with, because I like things a certain way, and that's the last thing he needs is somebody like doing things for him. So he was dragging his feet on putting the list together, and then he put it together like this week, and I was like, oh shit, I've got like 2 weeks to figure this out. And he asked for a bunch of stuff. He asked for a new bass, and all. I was like, hey, you put me on the hook for $750 for this indoor thing that's due before Christmas, so you might have to pump the brakes on that, and you'll have to use the 2 basses that are rolling around in the house. Not to mention your own bass. There are 3 basses in this house, but he wants a white one. Which, you know what? Fair. I like white basses. I like white guitars.
I get it.
White guitars.
I love that he's in the gas mode. Gear acquisition syndrome is a thing for us guitarists, and sometimes you get fixated on a color. I get fixated on shininess. It's a thing. It happens. So that's great.
Well, I've been sending him like pictures of stuff. I turned him on to Dingwall's social media.
Yes. And
he's like, whoa, these things are crazy. I was like, yeah, they're also like $5,000.
Right.
So don't get any ideas.
Too excited. Yeah.
But yeah, this is a fun new season. It's easy as a parent to kind of like mourn the passing of time or like, oh, they don't do this anymore. But like, I'm I try to be the person that's looking forward. Like I'm enjoying the way that I'm interacting with this version of my kid right now.
Yeah.
And, the possibility of being able to like gig with my son is pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Again, no pressure. He doesn't have to if he doesn't want to. But if he does want to, that's pretty cool.
We can do that. I'm super right with you. I mean, like my little Scar, right? Like it's like a whole new evolution of her stage presence and performance capability and vocal capability, and she is so leveled up in this production. And I feel very much the same way. And
there's plenty of famous musicians that came up in their parents' bands.
True.
Questlove is a great example of that. He was gigging with his parents at like 12 or whatever.
Okay.
So, it's definitely a viable pathway.
Sure.
So yeah, that's where we're at.
Love it.
Well, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. This was definitely more of a
parenting
episode. So these shows kind of go where they take
Who
us.
Knows? Who knows?
But hopefully there was some good stuff in there for you guys. Or if you're a parent, maybe okay. If you are in a band with your kid, let us know about it. coverbandcoverage@gmail.com.
Tell us about family bands. We want to know about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you've got some sort of Danny Bonaducci situation, we want to know about it.
Yeah. If you're the Partridges, let's go.
Let's go. If you'd like to support the show, you can do any of the number of things you're about to hear, but I'll go ahead and call it for this week. In Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Adam Johnson.
In Greensboro, North Carolina, I'm Dan Ray.
You have been listening to the Cover Band Confidential podcast for the week of December 12th, 2025.